but I got something that I think could use your soft touch. I don't want it to be too acrimonious. I know the guy's a decent earner. I just ring his bell, see who's home.
I ain't here for 8-ball, brother. Just came here for conversation.
White man got you sweeping up after him like a fucking janitor. I make Stefano too much money for you to do shit to me anyhow. Call shots. While your stepping fetched ass run errands, motherfucker.
Didn't call those shots, did you, black man?
Could be different than we was before. It's not unusual for people with this kind of injury to experience significant bouts of anxiety, even rage.
This bitch told me she done. Now she got my work.
Fuck!
I'll be in touch.
So you fucking her?
Hey, wait a second.
Welcome back, Top Notch Gang, to another video, and we're here with season 4 episode 2 of Raising Kanan. We're gonna break everything down, and this episode was kind of interesting. Not much of anything happened. They kind of was closing a lot more loose ends, I guess, that they had from season 3 with other characters' storylines, so it's not one continuous thing to follow. So for this breakdown, I guess we are gonna go character by character and talk about what they had going on in this episode, the decisions they made, the two most important being Unique and Marvin, cause the shit that they're both about to be doing this season is gonna take a bad turn eventually, and we're gonna make a full video breaking down the preview for episode 3 and also all the leaked descriptions and episode titles for the rest of the season this weekend, so be on the lookout for that. But as usual, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's get straight to the good shit. I'm not gonna make y'all wait. We're gonna kick shit off with Unique. Now, we obviously seen in episode 1, they were showing all the flashbacks of what happened in a 3-month span that Unique was missing, everything like that, where he was, how he hit up a friend, he was in bad condition. The doctor was talking about how he might not be in the right state of mind, he could have these fits of rage and everything like that, and he was trying to get back to where he was, go back, fight Ronnie, everything like that, but he wasn't in the right shape. So he told his man to go scope out the scene, let him know the lay of the land, what's going on, and his man came back and told him Rock was running shit now, picked up all his work, got control of everything and shit like that. And in his mind, he put 2 and 2 together, got 5, and said Rock, Ronnie, and Kanan all basically set him up to get him out the picture. He was going to finally make his return, take all of them out, but as we know at the end of season 3, Rock and Kanan already took Ronnie out themselves. So we see him at the beginning of this episode basically go back to his old house where Panessa was. They got the eviction notice. He see his son Checkers on the ground and everything like that. The house is empty. He's pissed off. He goes to Panessa's mom's house, sees her, but he decides not to approach her, to play it safe, keep his identity hidden, and he just continues to follow everyone around. Rock specifically. This where we get into his fits of rage and what the doctor was talking about in the prior episode about him not being the same, because he saw Rock talking to this dude, which was her lawyer, and they hugged. Rock was talking to this lawyer throughout the whole episode, which I thought was interesting in the first place, because I'm like, why they keep showing this nigga in multiple scenes? They never show this nigga this much. But he was following Rock, saw them two having a conversation, they hugged at the end, and so Unique followed this nigga home, and he followed him home, questioning him like, oh, you fucking Rock? Because if you fucking Rock, you basically a dead man. And he goes ahead and kills their lawyer. This is the first person he takes out on his quest to get revenge against everybody. And from the preview of episode 3, it looked like this is going to be a continuous thing, just the first of many. It looks like going into the next episode, we're probably going to talk about this more in a video tomorrow, but it looks like Kanan is going to be his next target. We already saw clips and previews of him going to Kanan's apartment and everything like that. We obviously, he's not going to kill him, like, it's Kanan, we like, obviously, but he has his sights set on him next, so that's interesting to see. But we know Unique is finally back in full effect. We just have to wait and see till he makes himself known that he is still alive. We'll go ahead and do Jukebox next because her stuff was kind of weird, and this is kind of what I meant when I said it was closing out a lot of loose ends from season 3. We finally do get to see her in basic training for the army, and she's really good at it, better than most of the guys, whatever. But she decides to leave, take a dishonorable discharge. She leaves. It shows she was in it said Columbia, so I'm probably guessing she was in DC, which makes sense because that should play, that's like an Easter egg for later. As you guys know, I'm pretty sure she was in DC in the original Power. That's where she moved and changed her name, and that's where she was a cop and everything like that. Let me know down below if I'm wrong, but I think that was an Easter egg for why she went there in the future. But nonetheless, she decides to leave the army, even though she's very skilled and good at it, obviously because they're very conservative. She was warned about this by Nicole's dad in the last episode, and she said she's not gonna hide who she is as a person. She actually takes a bus to Atlanta before going back to Queens, and she goes to see Aisha, who now has left the city. She's at Spelman College. They get together, they basically date now, whatever, and they trying to figure out shit, what's next for both of them, basically figure out who they really are. So then she does finally come back to Queens, goes see Marvin, pulls up on Kanan and everything like that, and now they kind of just shut the door on that military shit, even though they set it up so much in season 3. Right after the death of Officer Bird, she went and signed up for the army. We seen her take physicals, get her ASVAB scores, get the army letter in the mail. So for them to close that out in like one episode is kind of crazy to see, but it seems like she's going head first into the streets. We already got clips of her, of course, Marvin handing her a gun, her pointing at someone, another scene of her with a gun. We also seen her and Kanan at the park pulling up on some kids. She's using him, or he's using her as backup. So it just seems like she's about to get more active in what her family has already been doing, because she's kind of been distant from it. So I think that's probably why they closed the door on this military shit so fast. But that's really what happened with Jukebox. Next up is our boy Kanan. We got a few loose ends tied up for him. One, obviously, he went to Snaps and Pops in season 3 and told them he was gonna put down Ronnie, basically, and they basically told him that he was gonna have to fulfill that debt then, and he's been on the money ever since. We saw them have a meeting within this episode. We already saw clips and scenes of them having conversations later on as well, so we know this is a relationship dynamic that's gonna continue throughout the rest of the season for the most part. But it is interesting that he told them up front that Ronnie, he was gonna be the one to take out Ronnie. And also another loose end that they closed up was Krystal's pregnancy in the last season. As we know, she told Kanan she was pregnant. We didn't know what was really gonna happen with that storyline. We saw her crying and everything like that. We of course find out within this episode that she did get an abortion and he paid for her. She wanted to be a parent, but because of his relationship with, of course, Rock, he thought it wasn't the best decision, which, knowing how everything turned out in OG Power with him and Sean, kinda, he was right. It made a lot of sense. But their relationship has been rocky ever since then. We know she's gonna be in the line of fire when Unique pulls up to his apartment. She's gonna be the one to spy him. So we gotta see how their dynamic continues. First and foremost for Kanan, obviously the thing you focus on most of all is his relationship with Rock. And it seems like he wants to keep it strictly business. He's getting a re-up from her. He went to her house to use the washer dryer, that was just kind of funny, but he's not really treating her like a mom. We saw him questioning her, of course, about killing Detective Howard, thing like that. But for the most part, this is probably the second episode in a row where I feel like Kanan, his storyline got pushed forward the least compared to everyone else, which is fine because they got a lot to set up with characters like Marvin, Jukebox, and everyone else. But that was really it for him in this episode. On to our boy Marvin, and bro, he's crashing out. Ever since being betrayed by Gerald in the last season, we know the feds was looking into him. We know Howard was trying to make him take the fall for everything. In this season, he's not taking no shit. As we know in episode 1, during the 3-month flashback period, Stefano sent him on a mission to beat up his son-in-law because he was cheating on his daughter, whatever. And obviously he sent him on another mission when he was dressed up as the mailman to kill, oh damn, I cannot remember bro name. I don't know, he sent him on another mission, but they had a good working relationship so far. So even within this episode, he sends him on yet another one behind Rock's back. Of course, she eventually finds out, but we're gonna get into that. So he sends him on another mission and says someone has been skimming some money off the top. He already warned him about it. He sends Marvin and tells him, hey, don't do nothing overly dangerous or anything, just like show him like I'm not nobody to play with. Now Marvin, he goes, does this mission, and it should be just like the mission with his son-in-law, but Marvin smacks the guy with the little pool stick, and that nigga starts talking shit like Marvin a lapdog. He running hits for the white man and says he's not really gonna do shit about it. He says he makes way too much money. He knows Stefano is not gonna let Marvin take him out, and Marvin shoots and kills this nigga. He does not give no fucks. He's been crashing out. He feels like I don't know who he feeling like. He just like fuck it and kills him on the spot. Now obviously we don't see the repercussions of this, of how Stefano is gonna react. We're gonna have to wait till next episode for that. But going back to Rock finding out, when Rock was talking to the lawyer before, of course, Unique kills him, he tells Rock that the feds or the cops or somebody saw her meet with Stefano earlier this week, and they also saw Marvin meet with him separately, and she didn't know about it. She pretends that lies to the lawyer and act like, oh yeah, of course she knew, but she didn't. So I think with Marvin going out his way, getting this kill that Stefano didn't tell him to do, I think it's gonna cause problems on both sides. That Marvin, he's becoming a loose cannon. He usually always gets the job done, whether it's for Lou, whether it's for Rock, Stefano now. He always comes through usually, but it looks like this season he's gonna start to slip. We're just gonna have to wait and find out more as the season continues. Last but not least, Lou. Now, I know I ain't talk about Rock, but I kind of course, mentioned what happened with her in the Unique section, the Kanan section, as well as the Marvin section. So I kind of covered everything for her. But Lou is last up. Of course, we know he's finally out of rehab, and I'll actually add Famous into this section as well. Apparently, they got to deal with the record label that they was talking about in season 3. The song is doing numbers, but of course, Famous is missing. Everyone is kind of like don't really know where he is at. That's gonna play a big role this entire season, as we know from the leaked episode descriptions. Remember, watch my video this weekend if you want to check out and know what's gonna happen later down the line. But Lou, he's talking to these record execs or whatever, and he tells them of the one true guy on their label they're trying to push rap forward that they should look and invest into, and they say, hey, if you could be the one to do it, go ahead, get the job done. He goes and visits a guy in jail. I think his name B Rilla or something like that. Bro, it's like 4 in the morning I'm recording this. I don't got time to rewatch it, but I think his name like B Rilla. Lou helps get him out of jail, and he also performs at the little club or a bar that the white lady owns as well. So that's really it for Lou. He's deciding to dive deeper into the music shit. Obviously, once again, that might change later on. We know he's gonna get into a relationship this season based on what we've seen in the trailers, and also he might hop back into the game when some unfortunate events take place. Once again, check out my videos this weekend for more on that, but that's all we really got for Lulu. Overall, that's it for this video. This was another solid episode. Like I said, it felt kind of like the first one where they were just tying up a lot of loose ends before they continue on. It's funny because at the end of every episode, they leave like a preview for the next episode, and the episode 2 preview, a lot of the shit that they had in there didn't even happen. I had to go back and rewatch that to make sure, because the videos I made this week and shit I expected to see within this episode, not even my predictions, but just scenes I expected to happen just didn't take place. So maybe they fucked up with the trailer or something, but I just found that funny. You guys can let me know what you think about this episode so far. I do think things are starting to turn up. We're getting a lot more questions, so when they finally get answered, I think this season is gonna be hype. Once again, the videos this weekend should be very interesting to talk about when we dive into characters like Marvin, Famous, and so on and so forth. You guys can leave a like, comment, subscribe, but I'm out.